right. Do we have any volunteers to light candles? Any volunteers to light candles? I have volunteers to light candles. We have the triumvirate over here of boys. We can get, I was going to say, Susie can come up and, yeah, they come supervise. Yeah, we've got a couple adults to supervise. That's true. This year. Lord help us. His bar mitzvah is in November, and his birthday's in July. He's going to milk that for a while. All right.
In case of the 100% chance to light.
A brand new box. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's like a flamethrower. So we're going to begin from afar. We're going to begin on page 4. If we are able to, we rise as we kindle the lights and join together with the group up here. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Shabbat shalom. There's a myriad of tunes to use, so I figured I better help out. I don't know which one we're going to end up with. But figuring it out. Yeah, sometimes we say it, sometimes we sing it, sometimes we sing it at a different melody. All right, so tonight, those of you who usually are here for a dinner, you know, on a Friday night when we have a dinner in particular, we try to shorten the service so that we can enjoy our dinner, and people who don't like to drive in the dark get a chance to eat and get home. So we're going to do basically Kabbalat Shabbat, and we'll talk a little bit about Yom Yerushalayim as well. And is there anyone saying Kaddish, just so I know? Yeah, okay, so we'll make sure we get our minyan when we get to the end there, and we will be able to say Kaddish together at the end of our time. So page 5, you'll find Shalom Aleichem as we join together. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShared, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You'll turn over to page 11 as we begin together L'Chun Eranina, the formal beginning of Kabbalat Shabbat, with our 95th Psalm. We join together. L'Chun Eranina, L'Chun Eranina, L'Chun Eranina, L'Adonai. L'Chun Eranina, L'Chun Eranina, L'Chun Eranina, L'Adonai. Naria, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Nikadma Fana Bitoda. Naria, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Bizmirot Naria Lo. L'Chun Eranina, L'Chun Eranina, L'Chun Eranina, L'Adonai. L'Chun Eranina, Yechayechu neranen al Adonai. Ki el gadol Adonai u'melech gadol kol Elohim. Asher vayira mecharei haaretz v'tov Elohim asher vayira. We can conclude the psalm over on page 12 by the arrow. Arba'im shana kut bidor va'amar am to'e levavheim v'heim lo yadu drachai asher nishpati v'yapi im yevon el menuchati. Kindly turn over to page 14 by the arrow. You'll find the words Yismechu Hashamayim. We talked a little bit about this last week, that the land is given a Shabbat in last week's Torah reading. So here we kind of have a personification of the world, right? Also rejoicing, and in the context of Shabbat, rejoicing that it is Shabbat. So page 14. Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, Umelo, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, Umelo, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Ya'alo sarai v'chol asher bo az yiranenu kol atzei ya'ar lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel b'tzedek v'yamim v'emunato. We turn over to page 19 at the bottom. We tend to read this one because it's quite beautiful reading at the bottom on the left side of the page in the small print. It comes from a Tel Aviv prayer community, which links us, of course, to the state of Israel. And since this is Yom Yerushalayim, today, during the day today, we certainly acknowledge, and we will talk a little bit later about the primacy of Jerusalem in our lives in particular. So we join together in the English, the bottom of the page, as we remind ourselves of what Shabbat is about, and again, connect ourselves to our brethren in Israel. So page 19. Blessed is your coming, Shabbat. Blessed is your coming. Bring with you rest and peace, following a tumultuous week filled with so many demands. Bring the space in which, with others and alone, we can shape an infinity of dreams. Bring the hour of forgiveness in which to hear the pounding heart of another human being. Blessed is your coming, Shabbat. Blessed is your Creator. Blessed is your light. Page 20, by the arrow, we conclude the 99th Psalm. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Page 21, you will find the 29th Psalm. As always, this psalm reminds us that it is part of our mission to hear the voice of God in the world around us. And you'll see the words Kol Adonai refraining throughout. Page 21 on the far left, let's read the selection in the Hebrew and the English responsively together, and then we'll stand and do the psalm together as well as we sing. So page 21 on the far left, the small print. Kol Adonai al Hamayim, The voice of God opens the gates of compassion and love. Kol Adonai Bakoach. The voice of God opens the gates of courage. Kol Adonai Behadar. The voice of God opens the gates of shining truth. Kol Adonai Shover Arazim. The voice of God opens the gates of endurance and patience. Kol Adonai Chotsev Lavotesh. The voice of God opens the gates of splendorous beauty. Kol Adonai Yachil Midbar. The voice of God opens the gates of deepest connection. Kol Adonai Yacholel Ayalot. The voice of God opens the gates of presence. We look to the right in the large print on page 21, and I'll ask if you're able to rise as we join together. Mizmor leDavid, Havul Adonai b'nei Elim, Havul Adonai kavod va'oz, Havul Adonai kevod shemo, Yishtachavu Adonai be'adrat kodesh, Kol Adonai ha'amayim el hakavod hirim, Adonai ha'amayim ramim, Kol Adonai bakoach, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, Vaishaber Adonai et arzei alvanon, Vayarkidem kemo egel Levanon v'Sirion, kemo ven re'emim, Kol Adonai chotzev lavotesh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yecholel ayalot, vayechesov ye'arot, uvechalo kulo omer kavod, Adonai lama bu yashav, Vayeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. You're welcome to be seated. Page 23, you will find the Chadodi as we welcome the Sabbath bride or queen into our midst. As we generally do around here, we're going to do the first two verses on page 23, the middle verse on page 24, and the last two verses on page 25. I'll guide you as we go. And when we get to that last verse, we have the custom, as the mystics do, to turn and face the door. They go out and actually in the fields, especially in Shabbat, and they welcome in the Sabbath bride or queen. We will turn and raise and face the door as we open it and welcome in the spirit of Shabbat. So page 23, first two, next page, middle, last two on the last page. So page 23. Lechadodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekavela. Lechadodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Hishmianu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lechad dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor haberacha mehirosh mikedem nisucha, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. 24 in the middle. התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. 25. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תעריצי, על יד איש בן פרצי, ונשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמונה עם סגולה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. You are welcome to be seated. We turn on over to page 27. 27 there you will find the Psalm for Shabbat as we join together. Mizmor shir liyom ha-Shabbat. Tov, tov, tov lehodot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov, tov, tov lehodot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Uzamer l'shimcha elyon. L'shimcha elyon. Ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Tov, tov, tov lehodot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov, tov, tov lehodot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Lehagid b'boker chasdecha ve'emunatcha b'leilot. Tov, tov, tov lehodot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov, tov, tov lehodot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Alei asor va'alei navel. Alei higayon bechinor. Tov, tov, tov lehodot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov, tov, tov lehodot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. We conclude the psalm over on page 28 by the arrow. Tzadika tamar yifrach, ke'erez balevanon yizkeh shetulim bebeit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun b'seva deshenim verananim yiyu lehagi ki yashar Adonai tzuri velo havlatavo. Page 29. Adonai malaki ud lavesh Adonai ositazar av tikon tevel ba'al timod. Nachon kisacham yasmel Edo techanemnu me'od lahavecha na'ava kodesh Adonai liorech yamim. If you're walking in late, just a little bit after we started, you might not have heard the announcement. We are, as we always do, we shorten our service a little bit. So we're just going to do Kabbalat Shabbat, and I'm going to share a little bit of a story in just a few moments. But this will be our one and only Mourner's Kaddish Yatom. So those, you'll find it on page 30. And as we recite Mourner's Kaddish this evening, we keep in our thoughts those whose yortzites occur today and the week that is coming, including David Albeldas, Joseph Lender, Louis Glick, Ralph Sarlin, Bobby Arkin, Belisa Piha, Marcia Katz, Jim Rakes, B. Heyman, Dora Krenitsky, Rita Einhorn, Trudy Heller, Zacharia Louis Levy, Bertha Davidson, Siggy Morso, Norman Weinstock, Molly Davis, Sarah Brandman, Hyman Vygotsky, Rita Alexander, Esther Levy, Harry Clayman, Jacqueline Headley, Rachel Bragg, and Stephen Litwer. Those reciting Kaddish Yatom and Mourner's Kaddish, you're welcome to rise and join with me on page 30. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam alomei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal shemei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata da'amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You are welcome to be seated. Let me see here. I have, let's see, 1 second. Erica, do you want to go ahead and do you mind doing announcements? Oh, I didn't think you would, so come on up if you don't mind. We have someone under the weather who didn't make it tonight on the board, so you got new glasses.
I did.
See?
They're not
They're
good.
not good.
I'm not seeing them.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, well, hold on a minute. Here we go.
Okay. Let's see. The congregation is sponsoring the Oneg and the Kiddush for today and tomorrow, for tonight and tomorrow. Upcoming, Friday, May 15th. Tonight we celebrate Yom Yerushalayim, together with a yummy Israeli menu. We hope you remembered to register, which I didn't.
I think we have enough if you're not. You can pay later on after Shabbat.
Sunday, May 31st, the men's club is hosting an outing to see the Greenville Drive baseball team, with the first pitch at 3:05 p.m., which follows a picnic lunch. Shavuot, May 21st through 23rd, Thursday, 5/21, 6:30 to 7:45 p.m., learning and discussion with Rabbis Cohn and Rose. Thursday, 5/21, 7:45 to 9 p.m., study sessions and ma'ariv with dairy treats.
Okay, so hold on a second. That didn't come out right. They didn't show these to me before they printed them. All right, so our Shavuot Tikkun, Thursday night, this coming Thursday night, 6:30, beginning at 6:30, and I will lead a session 6:30 to 7:45 on Jewish identity. We're going to pick up where Mike Unger left off last Shavuot, where we talked a little bit about being the only Jew in the room and how that felt and what that meant as a part of our identity. So we're going to study the understanding of what Jewish identity is for each of us, and hopefully everyone will walk away individually with some thoughts about what and how they might identify themselves Jewishly. It's an important topic, especially in modernity and with anti-Semitism on the rise, of course. It's good to know who we are and why we are, and each of us be able to articulate that. So we're going to have a nice discussion, some text learning with it, and then, this is all one thing, that's the whole thing, we'll have a little bit of time for some cheesecake and other dairy treats, and at 7:45 or at 8 o'clock, around then, after some dairy fun, we'll spend about 40 minutes studying with Rabbi Rose, and then we'll end with a very brief Mariv service and get out by 9. Even those who don't like to drive in the dark can get here and spend most of the program here, and then I'll go ahead and do this. We will not have a Friday morning service, but we will have our normal Friday night service. It is shortened a bit because of the holiday, but we will be here with an oneg. My guess is leftover cheesecake. That's my guess. And then Saturday we will be here for Shabbat, and we'll have our second day of Shabbat festival service. We'll be reading the 10 Commandments. See, that's not there. That's why I'm chiming in. We'll be reading the 10 Commandments. That'll be the reading that we'll do, and we will be reciting Yizkor. So if anyone is reciting Yizkor, that's your morning on Saturday. We'll be doing that as well. And with that, I am taking this away, and you can skip this because... Except for, yeah. Oh, yes. The only thing you need to know about the baseball game is Sunday, May 17th, is the deadline. So this Sunday is the deadline to sign up for tickets for the drive. Okay, now back to our regularly scheduled
program. Did you see the save the date in this week's newsletter? December 11th through 13th is our alumni weekend, which you do not want to miss. If you're in touch with past members, please send their details to Diane. I need to do. Stay tuned to our website and emails for more details on these exciting upcoming events. Men's Club breakfast, families and friends welcome. Sisterhood meeting on June 4th. Yay. Habitat for Humanity Social Action Community Project.
That's on July 17th. July 17th.
Okay. Religious School and Adult Education. The CBI Religious School is looking for individuals who are interested in teaching or substituting in our religious school for the upcoming year. Classes are held on Sundays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., as well as 2 Wednesdays each month from 5:15 p.m. to 7 p.m. Please reach out to religiouschool@bethisraelsc.org. Religious School. The last day of school this year is Sunday, May 17th.
That's this Sunday. 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock.
Very sad.
New start time at 10 o'clock for this week.
There will be no more Wednesday school sessions until next year. So sad. God Talk with Rabbi Cohn, Sunday, May 17th at 10:45.
That's actually 10:15. We're starting at 10:15.
10:15. Yeah. 10:15. We're starting at 10:15 a.m. Join Fred Leffert for Intermediate Hebrew on Sundays at 9:30 and Torah study on Zoom Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m. Happy birthday, May 13th, Marco Newman, and May 18th, Rosa Eisenstadt. How old is Rosa? 90-something. All right, happy anniversary, 5:15, David Barrett and Ronnie Barrett, 5:18, Jennifer Clary and Richard Max Borders.
That's it, I think.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
That's a lot. Lots going on. Pretty good for the end of May. Our president-to-be says you passed the test, Erica. So there you go. All right, so before we conclude, hold on, put this back on. Sorry, the Di was out of the office this week. You might have seen the message, and so there was a fill-in person doing the announcements, so it was kind of put all together, and I think in a taking it from last week and the week before. All right, so we, of course, mentioned that at the very beginning that it is, today was a very special day on the calendar, and the day coincided with the 28th day of the Hebrew month of Iyar, which is the day designated for Yom Yerushalayim, and that's why we're having our dinner tonight, right? This holiday was declared in the aftermath of the Six-Day War, during which Israel captured the old city of Jerusalem. Now, when Israel's War of Independence concluded in 1948, thank you, Israel controlled the new city of Jerusalem. Who controlled the old city? Jordan. Very good. Excellent. We talked about this Wednesday. Jordan, the country of Jordan, held the old city. And in subsequent armistice agreement, Jordan agreed to permit the Jews to visit and pray at the Western Wall. This promise, however, was not honored in the end. And it was about how many years between 48 and 67? 19. We did this the other night on Wednesday night with our religious school kids. Of course, they all just ran out except for Ben. So Ben, you get the candy for answering the questions, right? So for 19 years, from the time of independence to the Six-Day War, Jews didn't have access to the old city, basically. Were forbidden to go there. And on June 7th, 1967, which again to the Hebrew date today, the 20th of Iyar, that's when the old and the new city of Jerusalem were finally reunited. Those of you who are pay attention to these kind of things and see cultural things before you, there were very famous photographs of Israeli soldiers sharing tearful prayers at the Western Wall. There's beautiful ones where you see them up against the wall in black and white, right? You remember? Yes. Those are very famous pictures. It comes from this event, really, basically. And there they are at the Western Wall, having ingrained those memories in us and having seen them. This special day then comes not only as a focal point of the Six-Day War, but really a historical marker in Israel's existence. So we might look and say, what's Yom Yerushalayim? Okay, big deal, right? We pay attention to Israel Independence Day, Yom Ha'atzmaut, which we had a few weeks ago. But this day is certainly a very important piece of our Israeli history. Now, we know today that the city of Jerusalem remains a focal point for us as Jews, as well as other religions, as Muslims and Christians. The city's history runs very deep for that reason. Jerusalem has been described in text and song as Yerushalayim Shel Zahav. What do those words mean? Jerusalem of gold, right. Of copper and of light, it continues actually. As an Ir Shalem, that's how we describe Jerusalem. Ir meaning city, Shalem from the word shalom, right? A city of peace. That's the description that we have of Jerusalem. And it's to Jerusalem that our ancestors, of course, made pilgrimages to worship at the temple. It was in Jerusalem that our ancestors built not once, but twice, right? This magnificent edifice of the temple in which to pray and make offerings, this Beit HaMikdash. Of course, what remains from that Beit HaMikdash, the second temple, is only the western wall, the outer wall, the kotel, that stands still today. And in Jewish tradition, Jerusalem is described, which direction are we facing? East, right? When we pray, right? That's where our ark is. So eastward. Why are we facing eastward? To Jerusalem, exactly. Not just to Israel, but to Jerusalem specifically. And that's why we face that way, but certainly. And it's described as, Jerusalem is also described as the place where heaven and earth touch. I love that image, where heaven and earth touch. So think about that for just a moment. I'm going to share we have just a couple minutes. I'm going to share a story with you that gives us a little bit of an insight, a wonderful midrash on Jerusalem, and in particular where the temple ended up being located, but the specialness, the uniqueness of Jerusalem in our tradition. So there's a wonderful midrash, again, a rabbinic story that tells us of the very beginnings of the Jerusalem as a holy city itself. In the land of Israel, there lived two very poor brothers. The brothers farmed only a very small piece of land that they had inherited from their father. The younger of the brothers had a wife and 3 children, while the older brother was not married. The brothers worked hard. What did they do? Tilling the wheat on their small plot of land. And at harvest time, they divided the sheaves into 2 equal shares. Right? So one night during the harvest, the older brother was unable to sleep. And he thought of his younger brother, and he thought how he had to struggle to provide his wife and 3 children with food and clothing that they needed. He was by himself. They split the sheaves of their produce, right, equally. But here the brother had a family to take care of as well. And the older brother thought, I'm alone. I don't need as much as my brother. He has this growing family. He should have a larger share of the harvest. So at midnight, he got out of bed and took a few sheaves of wheat from his own pile and secretly added them to his brother's pile. Ironically, on the same night, the younger brother was also unable to sleep. He too thought of his brother. I'm worried about him. When he is old, there'll be no one to look in after him. I'm fortunate enough to have children who will take care of me when I am no longer able to work. It's not right for me to take an equal share of the harvest. So the younger brother rose from his bed. You know what he did? He quietly went into the shed where the wheat was kept. He took some of the sheaves from his own pile and he placed it upon his brother's pile, and then silently returned to bed and went to sleep. When the brothers went to work the next morning, they were both surprised to see the same number of sheaves in each pile as before, but they did not speak to one another about it. And that night, each brother crept back into the shed and took some of his own sheaves and added them to the other's pile. This continued for several nights until one night they met on the way. And when the brothers realized what had happened, they laughed in joy and embraced with warm affection. They left the sheaves of wheat on the ground where they stood, and each returned to his own bed. When God saw the good deed of the 2 brothers, God blessed the place. It is said that after many years, when King Solomon began to build the great temple, a holy place that would serve as a house for God on earth, a place for the people to join together in celebration and commemoration and thanksgiving with one another, where was it to be built? Solomon decided to build it upon this special ground where the brothers had once shared their love, their care, and their concern for one another. It's a great midrash. It's a classic story. You might have heard it before, but it's one that certainly teaches us about how we should each treat each other, how brothers should treat one another.
Why are you staring at me for?
I don't know where the other one is. But you're the older one. You're the older brother. You're sitting here, right? So it certainly teaches us about how we do. You're smiling too. How we treat one another, how we treat our brothers, but as a metaphorical brother, right? How we treat our neighbors, how we treat those with whom we engage in the world. But it's also a story that teaches us why Jerusalem has been, for the Jewish people, an Ir Shalem, a city of peace, right? Jerusalem, the place where the temple once stood, began with the promises of love and of peace and of caring for one another. So as we mark Yom Yerushalayim, the special day in our modern history, this is a modern historical holiday, but as we do, we acknowledge that true shalom, true peace and harmony, we recognize still escapes this holy city of Jerusalem. Yet we continue to have tikvah, we continue to have hope that one day Jerusalem will again be an Ir Shalem, a city of peace, a true peace, not only for us as Jews, but for all of humanity. So before we go into the social hall for a kiddush and motzi, which we will do, and when we go in, you'll find on the table in the back, we'll take a cup of grape juice in hand and then head for our dinner and enjoy a yummy Israeli-themed dinner appropriately, right? And thank you to Lauren and to Erica for being here tonight. Lauren, you were here this morning with Terry also, and with Fran to help, and Mindy as well, to help make dinner for us tonight. So we thank you for helping and for being here tonight to help us celebrate Yom Yerushalayim. But I want to end our brief service with the singing of Yerushalayim Shel Zahav, the famous song written by Naomi Shemer. Very good. Naomi Shemer, and it speaks to Jerusalem as a city of ancient beauty, a city of gold. And so if you hopefully will join with me, I'm going to pass these out really quickly. We're just going to sing a couple of verses, or a verse and the refrain as our closing hymn this evening, as our closing song. If you know Naomi Shemer, this was from, again, written in 1967. And Jonah, will you please pass one out to everybody, please? Just try to, or I'll take it here and go back down. Just go. Just take one and pass the stack down so you have one. But if you think about Naomi Shemer, she was really 1967. What do you know about music during that period of time, even in America? It was groovy, right? It was folk. There was a lot of folk in it. It is really a beautiful folk song, if you will. I found a black and white YouTube video of Naomi Shemer actually singing this song. She wrote it, she sang it, but it's made famous by other singers as well. And 3 years ago, there were 400 musicians gathered, and you can probably Google it, outside the old city, against the walls of the old city in Jerusalem, and sang this song, but it's a rock version of it, must have been 10 or 12 sets of drums, full sets of drums, pianos, electric guitars, and I played it for the kids on Wednesday night. I played the first of Naomi Shemer, and then played the rather rock version of it, and it's quite beautiful. No matter what version we choose, we remind ourselves of the importance of Jerusalem. So I hope you'll join with me. We'll just sing again the first verse and the chorus as we remind ourselves of the primacy of Jerusalem, and then we'll go have some food to enjoy as well. So we join. Avir harim salul kayain v'reach aranim nisa beruach ha'arbaim im kol pa'amonim uftar dematilan va'even shvuya b'chaloma Ha'ir asher badan yoshevet uveli b'choma Yerushalayim shel zahav v'shel nechoshet v'shel or Halo lecha shirayich Ani kinor Yerushalayim shel zahav v'shel nechoshet v'shel or Alo lecha shirayich Ani kinor. Shabbat shalom. You are welcome to keep these if you'd like. If not, just pass them up, and we will, Jonah, if you don't mind collecting them for me. We will head into the back. Jeff, I'm going to put you in charge of opening up the little lock back there so we can all walk through, those staying for dinner. If you did not sign up for dinner, I think there is enough food, hopefully. So please feel free that you can certainly stay. You can always make your reservation and pay later. And we'll come in and join a Shabbat meal together. We're going to do Kiddush and Motzi right here in the back, so don't go very far. And then we will eat together. again. Page 76. I'll follow along, but you all can join with me. Ready? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho yahavah uvratzon inchilanu, zikaron le'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila le'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki manu bacharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-shabbat, amen. Chaim. I share it though. There you go. I hand it back. All right. Those who wish to wash can wash as they wish. I don't have a lot of water in here, but all right. Here we go. If you wish to wash, you can wash as you wish. Some of you like to do that. Oh, Avital's collecting cups instead. Hey, guys, come away from the table, please. Come away from the table. You guys don't have to be first up. There are other people who can eat also. And we have a delicious-looking berry Xander challah, as always. So we thank Barry, our challah baker extraordinaire. Let's join together. Ha-motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our prayer is joyfully said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ha-motzi lechem min haaretz.